And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. Thanks for tuning in. We're starting things out looking at the sun in 171 angstroms here, and this is the emission spectra of one of the ionized states of iron. So when molecules lack or have extra electrons, they're in what we call ionized states, and different atoms emit on a different spectra depending on their temperature. So for all of you folks who don't know what emission spectra are, when we're looking at 171 angstroms, it is the UV emissions from rapidly vibrating iron. I believe it's iron 18, one of the ionized states of iron, 17 or 18, something like that. And so this is a 48-hour video on the SDO, showing us 0 sunspots, by the way. So I brought up a slide here about emission spectrum, and this is what we're looking at. We're looking at radiation from molecules. So the vibrational frequencies, and we'll talk a little bit about theories of everything. And so different molecules and different atoms tend to emit certain frequencies, and that's what we're looking at when we look at the sun and all of these different like numbers of angstroms. For instance, this is a different iron spectra. This one is iron 7 and iron 20. And the 171 angstroms is 8 times ionized iron, so iron 9. I just read those Roman numerals wrong, I apologize. It's iron 8 and iron 21, otherwise known as 20 and 7 times ionized iron. And we won't get too into the chemistry of that, but that's what we're looking at when we look at those different wavelengths. Those are emission spectra seen on the surface of the sun. Next, looking at HelioViewer here to look at the fields. And the fields are pretty minor, not particularly organized. There you can see the fields. Again, no sunspots, I don't think. We'll check again by the end of the video. Keep in mind we're streaming live, and we're doing the Sunday Speed Edition. And nobody's doing speed, we're just doing the video fast. So here's the real-time solar wind. Phi angle's around 132 degrees. Solar wind density, 1.81 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed down to 301. Density 1.81, speed 300 kilometers per second approximately. And a little bit about the temperature. This is the temperature of the incoming solar protons primarily, folks. This is not the temperature of the surface of the sun. So when we see this shifting around, this is the protons being collected, not the surface of the sun. So just to sort of make that understood. And I won't get into the measurement of temperature because it's a daily space weather video. KP index, which is a measurement of the overall earthly geomagnetism, is at 1, a very low level. No surprise there. And here's the movie of the ionosphere. This is 4 hours of data. And we see some very large pronounced Van Allen belt regions here, making for large plasma spheres on these two planes. There are electrons in there, folks. There just are not a lot of incoming protons. And we'll show you a quick little clip of the density as well. You can see very low pressure, and there's a little clip of the density also. So fairly low density, quite low density, and very low speed, making for a very weak magnetosphere right now, but there are electrons out there. Here are the ground magnetic perturbations, and this is you could say it's kind of similar to the KP index in some ways, and you don't really see a lot of magnetism here. Everything's pretty calm right now. Anyway, there's 4 hours of data, courtesy University of Michigan Geospace Model V1.5, and welcome to the daily Smash Lights section, where we talk about whatever we want to. We're going to start things out by talking about funding the channel. Look for Amazon affiliate links coming soon. We've got products that we're going to put up. We just haven't gotten around to putting them up yet. Smash staff, get on it. We are streaming live to Twitch, by the way. If you haven't subscribed over there, check it out. You'll get updates and things. You'll see stuff as it's happening. And I guess I'm muted. Cool, that's good. We're also on YouTube, by the way, and for you BitChute viewers, subscribe over at YouTube, as there are exclusives on all platforms. So you need to be on both the platforms. Cheers. Thanks, everybody, for subbing over at BitChute. We're stoked about trending over there. And thanks for the interesting comments. Thanks even for the uninteresting comments. BitChute.com/smAsho if you haven't checked it out. You can see exclusives over here like COVID-19, the disease caused by coronavirus, cured via hydroxychloroquine. Also consider becoming a patron, please, as the real source of funding is our patrons. Thanks to our patrons, and we are working on that credit crawl. It's going to happen soon. You'll see your names on the videos. We're also on Subscribestar, so please visit the links below the video as we talk about a hilarious story of grim, grisly insanity. First federal execution in 17 years halted on coronavirus fears. Why? Because a woman who wants to watch the guy die would be at too great a risk in order to go watch this guy die of lethal injection. Apparently a member of the, I won't say anything. But anyway, yeah. So because one of the victim's family members would be at too much risk, they've decided to give him a stay of execution and I guess postpone it until the spooky, scary COVID is gone. Let's talk about China talking about salmon tested positive for COVID-19. Shout out to Christian Westbrook for citing this article on Twitter. And me laughing and laughing and laughing. Those are some mutated salmon right there, folks. Holy cripes. Apparently cosmic rays and the grand solar minimum and COVID have caused these salmon to become so mutated that they now look exactly like a familiar arthropod seafood dish known as shrimp. I don't know what the hell's going on with this article, but apparently, oh my gosh. Hey, Smash staff, you better stop sticking your hand in those fish tanks, and I better stop too, because we could murder the fish by giving them COVID. Did I tell you about how the Earth is a tetrahedron? Well, let's get with some real education here. Learn something, folks. The Earth is a tetrahedron. Case closed. Here's proof. See that? Boom. Earth is a tetrahedron. Boom! Geodesics in spherical geometry behave like straight lines in Euclid geometry. Okay. Here's more of the music. Oh my God, the world is a 20-sided die. Did you know the world is a 20-sided die? Here's some more stuff. Do you play D&D? That is an essential geodesic context of ley lines being projected in 2D. Duh. Proof that the Earth is a tetrahedron. Tetrahedron. What are you, some kind of idiot? You think the Earth isn't some kind of extruded version of a pyramid? I mean, come on. How arrogant are you? Here's some more fascinating graphics. I think that might be a Pokeball. The Earth is a Pokeball, folks. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, the ley lines on the planet create an inscribed pyramid, which is only the beginning. Imagine if it could be converted to 3D. I'm sure that wouldn't be some irrelevant stuff. Here's some more fascinating images. Fisher-Price, my first Photoshop. And so thanks, Eugene, for turning me on to the fact that the Earth is a tetrahedron. Here's some more fascinating graphics. See, if you extruded out this and made it into a sphere, it would be this, dear fur. See? Case closed. Anyway, again, thanks, Eugene. Eugene's latest video, Boring World, should totally be watched because it's about this kind of insanity. And of course, Eugene, being as enlightened as he is, ends the video by uncovering to us the true nature of the world. So despite this being a speed round, I've got to play these graphics. And thanks again, Eugene, as now my heart and the soul of the universe are one. Check it out. Sorry, we got to mute the sound, Eugene. Oh my God, look at that. Did you see that last thing? Holy cripes. So here's a fractal. It's made out of 5-pointed stars. It must be the sacred geometry, or is it the golden ratio? Oh my god. And now here's a thing similar to the Earth. It's magnetic fields that make a toroid. Holy cripes. Somebody made a cool looking graphic, which means the universe looks exactly like that. Period. Cosmology solved. By the way, I don't know what's going on here, but I think SciTech Daily's been stealing my graphics. You see this? I think I'm going to have to get that put on a t-shirt, except I'm going to make it say smAsho price. smAsho price, my first pandemic, and the price is going to be $25 plus shipping. I'm going to spell shipping wrong. $25 plus shipping is going to, I'm doing it. smAsho price, my first pandemic, it's going to be a thing. Now, this article here on SciTech Daily, since the headline is, I don't know, I think it's a sharticle. I'm not reading it. I may lose an IQ point. New research shows COVID-19 herd immunity could be achieved with fewer people being infected. Just let that sink in. Let's reflect on that for a moment, shall we? Have you been to the websites, by the way? They are ace. They're tasty. smAshomash.org. It's yummy. By the way, I'm drinking tonic water. smAshomash.com/forum. Oh, it's getting obscured by my shirt. Oh my god. Tasty. Visit our sites. Patreon.com/smAshomash. Open up your moldy wallets. You can get ringtones. Even free music. Well, it's not free because you got to pay money. New research shows COVID-19 herd immunity could be achieved with fewer people being infected. All right, I'll let that up to you to read, and congratulations on surviving so far. Fisher-Price, my first pandemic. You're definitely going to want to buy the shirt once I come out with that. You may want to be like, for you can... You may want to learn to do that. I don't know. By the way, I'm drinking tonic water right now because it's got hydroxychloroquine, okay? Maybe learn how to say China. Learn how to talk out the top half of your face. If you talk out over the top half of your face, you sound like this, like you have sinusitis, which, by the way, is a symptom of COVID, although I don't think most of the lists are showing COVID, okay? So don't... By the way, if you want to go to China, you're not allowed to go to China. Do not attempt to ship yourself in a shipping container to China. That would be against the State Department's departmental procedures. We want to have the most beautiful, most amazing, most incredible recovery that we could ever have. So please call your local congressman and tell them to stop requiring people who are healthy to wear masks and be locked down. Okay? And just also maybe drop them a hint and let them know that SARS-CoV-2 is made in China. And teach everybody how to say China at the top of your face. And here ends another episode of the smAsho Stream Smashlights. Let's go back to space stuff. 10.7 centimeter radio flux is still at 69. Say it aloud. Say it aloud. China. 69 solar flux units. X-ray flux is still below the B level. No kind of significant X-ray flares. No proton events. Although there is a bit of a forecast for a glancing blow. You might not even see any kind of a signal on that. Goes magnetometer. There's the readings on that. And we're just solidly in the North Pole current sheet. And it's looking, the North Solar Polar Field is looking pretty strong to me. So we'll have to look at solon.info tomorrow. Here's the Gong 2 data. This is gathered from 51 ground-based magnetometers, by the way. as well as one out here on stereo A and one out here on stereo B. Why are they called A and B? Because this one sees space weather ahead of us, and this one sees space weather after we've already seen it. Because it's behind. Because where it's... Anyway. And you can see the green current sheet here. That's the North Pole polarity. Here is the line of sight field plot, and you can see no major striations here in the B field shown in blue, meaning not a lot of activity. Similar to what's facing the Earth. Here's where stuff is in the solar system, and we've got some photos for you. On my Instagram page, there is the current planetary pileup, and there's a lot of stuff up there in the sky, including a comet. So we'll get to that in a minute. And you can see you've got Mercury, Venus. Venus is practically right on top of Aldebaran, which looks amazing. And I took a photo of it. Then you've got Mars and the Moon right next to each other. And you've got Saturn and Jupiter right next to each other. So Mercury's a little lonely there, but the Sun is soon to follow. So here's a great image of Comet Neowise, and this is why I was out, because I was checking to see if I could see it in the morning. Apparently it's an evening thing. So I'll have to maybe stay up until dark tonight and go see if I can check it out. Here's the Moon and Mars, a great image of the Moon and Mars. And then we've got one of Venus and Aldebaran. I believe that's Aldebaran there. I'm not sure if it's showing up or not. Maybe I'll Photoshop that later. But yeah, so back to data, electron flux at more normal levels here. And there's the 3-day GOES 16 readings. Here's the total air column, the thermosphere, all the way down to ground level. And we don't really see any big-time electron flux, although some nightly anomalies here over the Caribbean and South Pacific. 6 hours of ionosphere data showing us a pretty anomalous ionosphere here. It's not quite as anomalous as we were looking at it earlier, but I was up a little early. There is a big F flare, that big red blob. That's an F flare. As the only F2 layer is really right here. So the goal is to measure the F2 layer, but there's also an F3, an F4, F5. These are all different. These are all double layers in the ionosphere. And you can see a very discharged ionosphere here, both on the day and nighttime side. So once again, only making it up to 7 megahertz over here. And yeah. Earthquake rundown over the past 24. The largest is a 5.4 at Papua New Guinea at depth. Let's go down the list. Small one at... Let's go up the list. Small one at Alaska. Here's one at... Another one at Timor-Leste at depth. So that's the third in a few days there. And then followed just a little over an hour later by a deep quake at Alaska. A 5.3 very far south, near the Antarctic and plate boundary. A 4.5 at Colombia at depth. One in Guam. And there's a deep quake at Papua New Guinea also, so a little bit of deep earthquake activity there. Deep quake at Fiji, 526 kilometers at a 4.5 magnitude. An hour later or so, a deep quake at Afghanistan. So a bunch of deep quakes coming off. They could be foreshocks. It's been known to happen. Have an earthquake plan. Be an asset, not a liability if the buildings start to fall down. Suwanusei-jima back on the list. Flight level 7,000 there as far as volcanoes here at volcanodiscovery.com. Tokono, flight level 7,000 there. Sangay, flight level 19,000 there as it explodes. Also Revenador explodes. Flight level 15,000, and Sabancaya exploding as well. 22,000 foot plume of ash there. Please don't fly your hang glider over the Sabancaya caldera. You could damage your equipment. We don't want to do that. All right. There are the jet streams of the Western world. Classic meridional jet stream flow. Here are the jet streams of the Eastern world. Some odd behavior happening right here, as well as a major concentration here that looks like a very high-speed setup. Probably a very fast signal in there. 244 kilometers an hour. And here's a pressure map proving that the Earth is flat and that it is shaped like a tetrahedron. So thanks again, Eugene, for informing me and all the viewers of the tetrahedronic shape. Here's where we expect pressure cells to be tomorrow at noontime, my time. And I'm on Eastern time, the same as New York City, if you're wondering. Next, looking at lightning maps. I want to know where lightning's striking. Do you want to know where lightning's striking? Lightningmaps.org. Or if you prefer the German, blitzertung.org. Now, I enjoy the Nordic languages. I'd like to learn perhaps Swedish sometime. Anyway, we see some lightning strikes in the U.S., so let's zoom in. Hey, Paducah, there's thunder rolling in. I was going to say go outside and look to your southeast, but there's lightning striking right there. Hey, Martin. Dresden, didn't that place burn? Hey, Nashville. You are probably in the crosshairs, Nashville. There's thunder rolling in big time. Let's look at water vapor maps for Europe and Africa. There you go. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. Looks like an odd low pressure system right here, moving right toward where those deep earthquakes happen, folks. Anomalous low pressures sometimes have to do with earthquakes, I'm told. But I'm not the world's leading expert. Check out this formation over here, too. Not that, this. That's a pretty weird one. Check it out. I have to zoom in on that. What is going on there? I'm too far south. That is quite an odd display. Now I'm too far north. And now I'm in the Goldilocks zone. Now I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right. Let's get a shorter. There you go. Just off the east coast of Africa. Quite an odd conflagration happening there. Part of my squeaky mouse wheel, by the way. That is funky. Call Mr. MBB333 and call Gina Maria Colbert Cabrera Cardona, Colombia. That is quite the connected regions of moisture there just off the coast. Quite odd. And I don't think we're going to be able to name an anticyclone today. We're getting too long. It's becoming too lengthy of a video. Not going to be able to name an anticyclone, folks. I greatly apologize for that. As I even had a name lined up. Check out this giant cloud over Oklahoma and Arkansas, moving toward Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. More like Louisiana. It looks like it's turning to the south a little bit. Giant cloud there, as well as a very organized series of clouds over Indiana. Check it out. It's like a straight line. In fact, let's zoom in on that one. Let's don't zoom in on that one. Let's just look at it on the water vapor. There's the water vapor map. We'll zoom in water vapor mode. It's a more telling satellite image, folks. There you see that massive pressure gradient associated with that moist versus dry mass of air. And I would remind our viewers that dry air is more massive than moist air and tends to control what's going on. Now check out this insane atmospheric pond. And that is some rapid rainfall you're seeing right there, folks. Pretty much the entire state of Oklahoma just got saturated in, I would say, a pretty quick period of time. And there you can see those storms. Man, that is some beefy weather. Just going back to this again, I would note that the cold air coming down from Canada is what makes these storms violent, not the hot air. So when people tell you about atmospheric physics, about carbon dioxide, and about how the Earth's getting hotter and storms are more intense and it's mankind's fault, if they don't understand the atmospheric physics, then I don't know. Send them my way. I'll explain it to them. Man, that is one seriously concentrated storm over Indiana also. And hey, Smash Team, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for flying American Smashways. And I would remind our viewers to please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times, because we have bonus features. And we discourage dismemberment. There's a solar disk, the intensity gram, showing, I think, 0 sunspots. Little bit of a plagey region or two. And there's a colorized magnetogram refreshed to show you not a lot of magnetic organization. Maybe that spot there is showing some promise. There were some bumps in the X-ray flux, but nothing to write home about. Let's look at the 94 angstroms view and call it a day. Thanks for tuning in to the Sunday Speed edition. Whether you viewed live or you viewed Memorex. Anyway, there's a 48-hour view in 94 angstroms. A little bit of minor activity. North solar polar field in charge of the current sheet on which you live. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, and may that solar wind be at your back. And the Covidia is the absent from existence.